We've got some new seekers here. I could talk myself blue in the face about the beauty of the path, the beauty of the teachings, the beauty of the spiritual current, and the beauty of the master. I've done so for 31, 32 years. And one thing I found out, you can't explain the path to a new seeker because it's just too profound. I can't say everything at once. And there's always these qualifications and there's these questions. And the more thorough I try and become, I don't want to say the worse it gets, but the more perplexing and confusing it can become. And the path is just so profound and abstract and evolved that to understand the tenets and some of the secret meanings between the lines and the concepts and principles that it represents, it's going to take a lifetime of study just to grasp them correctly. And here comes a new seeker. They want to come in and make an assessment right on the spot. And it's impossible to do. So what do most seekers do? Well, they try and size me up. That's the big elephant in the room for the new seekers. Is this guy cracked? Is he nuts? Is he a legitimate Sat Guru? Is he a true master? And they assess me. And the problem with that is, who can judge a master? I got a letter one time, and this beautiful gal, she's a Sheila, and she was writing in about her boyfriend who's not. And she said, well, my boyfriend thinks you're a fraud. Well, I would hope so. You know, and I mean this really in a deep way, to try and get some understanding to you. What ego or mind is going to give credibility to a master? They hardly can give credibility to the law or a local church or something like this. And the ego comes in, and the ego is the enemy. And the ego is the one that does all the investigation. The ego is the one that determines, well, I'll research this guy and I will make certain conclusions. And the ego is the one that makes the conclusions. And so it's like the enemy researching the enemy, and all the conclusions are made by the enemy, and what do you think the result's going to be? See, that's how that works. And so you Chelas have had time to put me through the tests, time to have personal experiences and address those doubts and qualms. But a new seeker does not. And for the new seeker, you can throw me out with the morning trash, that's just fine. I'm a nobody, I really am. I'm not the major player on this path, the inner master is. But if you really want to just size me up, if that's the big elephant in the room, my credibility, then you really have no idea who I am until you get to the third eye. And when you can get to the third eye and then look and judge me, then your judgment will be correct and just. Then you can actually make a truthful assessment of who is this guy, you see. Now, what ego is going to take the time and effort to rise up to the third eye to make that assessment? You see, it's kind of a snap decision. So I want the new seekers to know that I know you're judging me. I want you to know that I'm judging you. See? There's the true path, the true master, and the true seeker. And all three have to be credible, or the spiritual journey is aborted. You want me to be bona fide and true. Okay, I don't blame you. You have to check that out. That may take a week. It might take 5, 10 years where your doubts are eliminated. And the path has to be true. You're going to check that out too. But it's usually how you efface with the master and your first impression. And I want you to know that there's parts of your being mind that isn't going to be happy to have a favorable impression of the master. You're really going to have a spiritual propensity, wanting God's spirit truth so badly that you're willing to face your own doubts and give me a fair chance, okay? In the same token, I'm watching you. You have to be a true seeker. You have to be a true Chela. You can't slide on that. And if you're not a true seeker, if you're just a window shopper, if you're out for curiosity, if you're out to get more power to use against your fellow beings and to get promoted in the job place or to make wealth, well, that's not going to cut it. On some paths, it will. On this path, it won't. All this path has to offer you is for you to realize your divine self and to realize your relationship with God. This path doesn't promise you wealth, a happy marriage. It doesn't promise you fame, notoriety. It promises you realization and the expansion of your consciousness. Now, I will be quick to add that once you start to expand your consciousness, all these other areas start to improve as well. I personally maintain that once you get consciousness, it's so easy to make enough money to live. You just don't want as much anymore because you realize that's not the true tender. You realize consciousness is. I mean, if you want to be happy, there's a lot of billionaires and millionaires that are not very happy. They've been able to get everything they want. Woman, wine, and song, drugs, the whole deal. And they splurge, just like we have. Just like we have. And where does it leave you? See, in a pile of misery, or a jail cell for a night, or a car accident, or a broken marriage, or kids that hate your guts. We've all been there. That's not the way to happiness. Consciousness is the way to happiness. But those that do get consciousness, they usually become more wealthy. They usually have a happier marriage. They usually are more successful in the world. The only difference is they just don't really want it anymore. And being they don't want that, and being that you're just shoving that right in Cal's face, I don't need your money. I don't need your notoriety. I don't need your fame. I've got the master. I've got consciousness. I've got truth. When you throw it in Cal's face, he usually throws it right back at you, and just, your marriage gets better, your love gets deeper and richer, you got a few extra bucks in your pocket. That's just the effect of it all. But the path has nothing to offer you but coming to know your divine self and its relationship to God. Okay. I talked about the master being the big elephant in the room. You can't just accept me, and you just can't ignore me if you're a truth seeker. You just can't accept me. You can't ignore the master. You've got to check it out. Let's say you see a hot date, whether it's a gal or a guy, who cares? Do you just go and say, will you marry me? No, you've got to check her or him out. Do you just say, well, being I don't know, I'm not going to ever go out on a date again? You don't do that either. No, you call them up, you arrange it, whether it's the internet or on the phone or a letter, who cares? I'm way behind on that stuff these days. It's changing so fast. But you check out the person you're dating to see if they're good material. Are they marryable? Can you be a companion with this person? You check them out and you make your decision. That's what you have to do with the master. You got to check them out. It's the same thing. So you just can't say goodbye to women or men or come on over and let's have a group marriage. Either extreme is inappropriate. And it's the same principle with a master. If you truly are a spiritual seeker, you need to give me some time to show you what you're dealing with. You cannot make a snap decision on that. That requires personal experience with the Master and the teachings and the dream state and the expansion of your consciousness. And once you have some experiences with the Master, now you can assess his veracity and credibility. The same way as once you go out with this man or woman for a number of dates, you get enough information and experience to make a clear-cut assessment of whether they're marriageable or whether you can be a companion or a friend of this person. So that's what I'm asking of you. Vice versa, I want you to know that I've got to be fair with you. And I will be. I know your ego and mind's going to judge me. I'll overlook that until a higher component, the consciousness, starts emerging and you can start seeing truth correctly and making an honest decision. My elasticity will be broad because I know where you've come from, I know what you've done, I know where you're headed, and none of it's good. I mean, that's why you're looking for truth and spirit, okay? Your Master has to realize that and give you every break in the book. And one of the most common letters I get is, Gary, I can't believe how patient you are with me. You see, and that's just a Chela admitting that they're dragging their feet, they screwed up 110 times, and their Master still loves them. And I have to be patient with you. It's much like a parent being patient with the child. It's required. There'd be no chance for the child. The child screws up too much. So I want you to be broad in looking at me. Give me some time to show you what I and the path and truth is about. And I have to do the same with you. And I will give you that time, that latitude, to make that determination whether or not you think the path is valid, the teachings are valid, the Master is valid. Okay.